The Senate is soon going to vote on the confirmation of Joe Biden's Supreme Court pick, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Now, she will be confirmed, and it will be an accomplishment for Joe Biden, rightfully so. Donald Trump had as an accomplishment, I mean, he picked horrible people, but he had as an accomplishment not only getting a bunch of judges confirmed to lower courts, as has Joe Biden, but Trump also had 3 Supreme Court justices to his name, and they are accomplishments. I mean, let's be honest. They are disastrous justices who have pulled the Supreme Court more to the right than it's been in a very long time. But if you're a right wing nut, you like it and you see it as an accomplishment. So when, not if, when Judge Jackson is confirmed to the Supreme Court, it will be an accomplishment for President Joe Biden, and maybe he will get more opportunities. But we are now starting to hear from Republicans about whether they will support the confirmation. Now, you know, and I know, and anybody who takes the time to look knows that Judge Jackson is as qualified as any of the 9 justices currently on the court, with a wider breadth of experience than any justice on the court. The closest is Stephen Breyer, who she would be replacing. But it still appears many Republicans, maybe even most, are going to be voting no. We don't yet know whether Mitt Romney will vote to confirm Judge Jackson. Susan Collins, Republican from Maine, has said she will vote to confirm Judge Jackson. And her explanation is so simple. It's she has the experience and she has the qualifications. That's it. And it really should be that simple. But I'm going to give you an example of the worst of the worst. Here's a clip of Republican Senator Roy Blunt. This is almost beyond parody. He was interviewed by George Stephanopoulos on ABC yesterday, and he says that Jackson should be confirmed, and it will be a great accomplishment that she will be confirmed. It will be a high point for the country, but he's not going to support that confirmation. And when George Stephanopoulos asks, well, why, he delivers an unintelligible word salad reminiscent of Sarah Palin, who, by the way, we'll talk about a little bit later today. Listen to this.
With Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, have you made up your mind yet?
Well, I have, George, and good to be with you this morning. You know, I've thought initially, my sense is that the president certainly had every good intention and every right in the campaign to talk about putting the first black woman on the court. I think it's time for that to happen. I was hoping that I could be part of that. I had a great conversation with her. Really, there are 2 criteria, as I said immediately. One is the person qualified for the job? And 2 is, what's their judicial philosophy?
Okay.
She's certainly qualified. I think she's got a great personality. I think will be a good colleague on the court. But the judicial philosophy seems to be not the philosophy of looking at what the law says and the Constitution says and applying that, but going through some method that allows you to try to look at the Constitution as a more flexible document. And even
now, I wish that were true. It's not true. And it was actually surprising to many progressives how centrist on the questions of judicial philosophy and seeing the Constitution more as a sacred text versus a living document, how centrist her answers were. This is just not true, what Roy Blunt is saying.
In the law, and there are cases that show that that's her view. I think she's certainly going to be confirmed. I think it'll be a high point for the country to see her go on the court and take her unique perspective to the court. But I don't think she's the kind of judge that will really do the kind of work that I think needs to be done by.
What on earth is he talking about? He likes the fact that there's going to be the first black woman on the court. He says that her qualifications are without question, but he's not big on her judicial philosophy, which he claims without evidence nor citing a single example that she's not strict enough about her interpretation of the Constitution. But there's no substance there. It sounds like basically the only things he's defending are reasons to vote for her confirmation.
The court, and I won't be supporting her, but I'll be joining others in understanding the importance of this moment.
If it's a high point for the country, why not support her?
Right.
Well, I think the lifetime appointments have a different criteria than other appointments. I've supported a significant number of President Biden's nominees to offices that will end, their time will end while he's still in office or when he leaves office. I think that's a different criteria than putting somebody on the court for life. I don't think I've seen.
But you're still not really giving an example of what it is about her answers that concerned you. So this is mealy-mouthed, to say the least. And quite frankly, it might be just as simple as I'm not going to vote for her because my supporters will be mad and I don't want to anger my supporters. A lot of the Republicans who are saying they're not going to vote for her don't even really seem to know why they're not going to vote for her. They seem to sometimes rattle off something about sentencing for people in possession of explicit child sexual images. But even then, it's not even really clear what they thought the sentences should be in certain cases. It's all very weird. And there's a report from Business Insider, which indicates that Mitch McConnell, the Republican Senate minority leader, has been pushing other Republican senators to also not support Judge Jackson. So we will wait and see. She's going to be confirmed by absolutely every indication. The question is how many Republicans are actually going to support her. And on qualifications, there is nothing there in terms of a valid reason not to support her. Science has shown us that lowering your body temperature at night improves sleep in many ways. Our sponsor, Chili Sleep, creates systems that cool down your bed, promoting deeper, higher quality sleep. It also just feels great. I use it at home. I'd recommend it to anyone, and I've recommended it to some friends who now use it as well. Chili Sleep's product, the Ooler, the Cube, and the Dock Pro, they're all water-based, temperature-controlled pads that fit onto your existing mattress. You can keep your bed as low as 55 degrees, as hot as 115 degrees. I like 60. Their new Dock Pro sleep system has double the cooling power of other models, 5 times the cooling contact, whisper quiet. You can control it with your phone. It's awesome. With Chili Sleep, there's no more feeling hot at night, no more sweating. Cooling your bed down like this is amazing. You really have to try it for yourself. When you go to chilisleep.com/Pacman, you'll get 30% off the Ooler and Cube sleep systems and 10% off the new Dock Pro. This offer is only for my audience. The link is down below.